What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and as you could tell from the title, everyone's days are about to get a lot better. Yeah, that's right. I've got a new neighbor that's been moving in, who's been causing a lot of issues and recently caused this just big Karen-level meltdown in the middle of the road. And I knew I had to make a video about it because what else am I supposed to do when a neighbor goes crazy? Not talk about it? Come on, what do you think this is? Someone that's responsible? Regardless, it will be a pretty fun video, and without further ado, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam, you're gonna get attacked by a Karen, and let's go.
Yeah, this shit, it just has begun. Hey, I'm just about to say it. My homies never gotta work cause
Alright, so obviously from the title, you guys can kind of tell what's going on, and, you know, I've officially been in my new neighborhood for about a year now. I haven't had too many issues, just a couple incidents, but even then, it was never with anyone that was, like, directly around me in the neighborhood. It was, like, people in the neighborhood, but streets away, blocks away. So honestly, I had never really had any issues whatsoever. But now there's a Karen that's out there, you know, on my street, who's just causing problems for other people. Surprisingly, I'm not the target of the Karen-ness this time. I'm not gonna lie and say that's not a little bit relieving, but it's still wild. Anyways, about a month ago, the house like across the street and a couple down ended up getting sold. Now, the people who had lived there before, I had literally never talked to at all, but I'm gonna be honest with you, when you're living in a neighborhood, not knowing who your neighbors are is kind of the best way to do things, unless you're gonna be friendly and close. Like, that just means that we didn't bug each other at all. Whoever had lived there before and me had never had to cross paths, we'd never had to argue, we had never had to interact. But, you know, whatever, that house ends up being sold, and due to the real estate market right now in Las Vegas, it gets sold pretty quick, and the people that bought it move in very, very quickly. And, you know, I'm not trying to sound like a creeper, but I had kind of just been, like, keeping an eye on the people moving in just to see what my new neighbors were gonna, like, look like or be like, you know, just because I'm nosy as hell. And not in a weird way, I could literally, like, look out my window and see. And, I knew something's gonna be off pretty damn quickly, because I can just tell by the way that this, like, mom of the house is screaming at her husband as he's unpacking the moving truck that, like, she has Karen potential written all over her, you know? And, my suspicions are confirmed because they wanted the neighborhood to know that they had quote-unquote expectations on what they expected from their other neighbors. And I know this because one day I woke up to this paper on my door that had an introduction on it. Now, I'm gonna read this in Karen's voice, alright? That's what we're gonna call the lady for the rest of the video. I'm not gonna say her real name. Now, this Karen had basically written an essay saying who she is, that they have kids, and that they appreciate quiet. And, you know, listen, that letter in and of itself isn't a big deal. Like, oh, hey, we have a lot of young kids. If you guys could keep it quiet, sometimes we would appreciate it. Absolutely no problem. That's normal. But the tone of this letter was a little more something like this. It's come to our attention that this neighborhood has previously had no tenants that are of a better taste, so we wanted to make our expectations clear. Quiet is expected between these hours. Like, you know, it wasn't a friendly, hey, we have a little baby, if you guys could not be loud early in the morning or late at night, we'd appreciate it. Nah, this letter was like being bossy as hell for no reason, trying to tell us when we could make noise and when we couldn't. And this lady's not on the HOA, she's not a cop, she had just written this letter. So, whatever, I just ignored it, I crumpled it up and threw it away. Mainly because I know I wasn't gonna have any issues. Yeah, whatever, I've had issues with neighbors in the past before, like in my old house, but I haven't had any here because I just mind my damn business. I don't really go outside and get involved in anything. I work really early in the morning, so even when I'm making videos, most everybody else in the neighborhood isn't awake. I don't know, I really just don't have issues with anybody, so I just figured I was gonna have no problem with this lady. However, as I was talking about it with one of my roommates, it comes to my attention that we have a neighbor that's definitely going to have issues with this lady extremely quickly. Now, the guy who lives immediately next door to me's name is Frank. He's in his mid-50s, and honestly, he's a really dope dude. I talk to him about once a week, not very long or very often, but like we'll both be taking the trash out or whatever. We've gotten to know each other, we joke around, and he's a pretty cool dude, and Frank goes to work at 10:30 a.m. every weekday. He owns his own company, and, you know, that's just his schedule. And I don't know that because he's told me that's what's going on. I mean, he's told me that he owns his company, but I knew that he went to work at 10:30 every day because I can hear it. You see, Frank owns a Dodge Charger. For those of you that don't know, it's like a muscle car, but he doesn't just own any Dodge Charger. He owns a Hellcat. Now, I'm not saying it's the loudest thing in the universe. It doesn't wake me up. It really isn't going to cause issues for anyone trying to sleep or anything, but if I'm awake at 10:30 and I'm in the kitchen, I can hear his car leaving. I am immediately next door, but I can hear it. It's not disturbing. It doesn't like wake up my dog if it's asleep even. Like I'm just aware that the noise is there. But considering this lady is like being this bossy about noise and everything, I could just tell that it was going to be an issue. And as I said, I could really hear his car from startup until he got down the road whenever he would leave. It wasn't incredibly loud, but I could hear it. And, I knew this lady was going to have an issue, and I was already getting prepared on how I was going to defend Frank if anything came up, because, to be honest, look, it is loud, it's not that loud. But also, even then, he drives it at like 10:30 to work, and then he drives it home at like 4:30 p.m. He doesn't work that often or like long hours, and it's not that disruptive. Like, you can deal with the car driving down the road semi-loudly at 10 a.m. and like 6:30. It doesn't need to be pitch quiet that entire time. I would understand how it was annoying if this dude was like working the graveyard shift and coming home at 1 a.m. But even then, it's his car. There's nothing you can do about it. It's his right to drive it. I can understand how it'd be annoying, but even then, I don't really feel like you have the right to tell people they can't drive their car in your neighborhood. Actually, we're gonna talk to the DMV and have your license revoked. Like, get out of here. But I just knew it was a matter of time until these two ran into each other and had some issues. So for a bit, everything's pretty okay, and then of course it bubbles over. One morning I'm in the kitchen just kind of making some food at 10:30, which I knew it was 10:30 because I hear the car. But this time, instead of it just kind of backing out of the driveway and being gone relatively quickly, it's kind of just idling there, and then I hear some screaming. And I happen to have one of my kitchen windows open, so I go and I kind of look out, and sure enough, I see this Karen screaming at my neighbor Frank, who's just sitting in his car. And, I'm not really processing what she's saying, so I have to like focus a little bit to be like, what the hell is happening here? And I'm watching, just kind of listening, and I hear her being like, do you really have to drive it this early? Like, this early? Are you kidding me? Do you have any idea how disrespectful it is to drive a car this loud this early in the morning? And, in my head, I'm like, damn, bro, this lady is really acting like 10:30 a.m. is 4 a.m., Like, listen, yeah, it's a loud car and whatnot, but it's 10:30 a.m. It's not like it's the middle of the night. Yeah, I feel like he's kind of allowed to drive his loud car right now. If he's not allowed to drive his loud car in the middle of the day, when in the world would he be allowed to drive it? And even then, he doesn't need your permission because it's his car, and if he feels like driving it in the morning, that's his damn prerogative. Anyways, she's still going off, and I can't even hear what Frank is saying. He's still calm in the car, in the driver's seat, just kind of being like, hey, it's my car, I'm trying to leave right now, you're actually holding me up. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was because I could tell she just wasn't going to leave him alone or, me just being nosy, I decided to go outside. I shouldn't have. I'm not going to lie. That was dumb of me. Okay, you guys can make fun of me. I should have minded my damn business. I realize that. But regardless, I go outside and, I really was trying to help it calm down. I also was like, man, I'd love to hear exactly what's going down so I can make a video out of it later. It was a double-edged sword. I'll just be honest with you guys. And when I go outside and I start kind of walking down the street, kind of to where they're at. I'm like one house away, so it doesn't take very long. She sees me, and the first thing out of her mouth to Frank is like, see, this neighbor is also disturbed. Now you're, disturbing the entire neighborhood with your vehicle. You have no regard for anyone else. And obviously, I'm not really disturbed by it. That's not why I'm out here. But she starts trying to use me as like, look he's disturbed too, and it's all your fault. You're ruining this neighborhood, blah, 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 blah. And Frank looks at me, and he kind of leans his head out the window, and he goes, hey, is this bugging you? And I'm kind of sitting here like, all right, well, this Karen thinks I'm on her side. He thinks I'm on his side, but I'm just going to be honest. I didn't know. I wasn't on the Karen side. I thought she was being ridiculous. So I'm like, no, it's not really bugging me that much. And then I say something that I think was a little bit too logical, and this is when the Karen decides I'm the enemy too. I go, no, it's not bugging me that much, and usually you're gone pretty quick, Which is true. Usually it's a little loud for like 30 seconds max. But no, this lady has him just idling the car here for minutes, and like now it's a little loud, but he would have been gone by now if you weren't out here trying to argue with him. So when I say that, dude, she realizes that I'm kind of annoyed that she's the one out here doing all this in front of the house. All right, guys, I'm gonna interrupt the video for a second. On screen now is actually an Xbox gift card. I give away one of these gift cards in every single video here on the channel as a way to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed with those notifications on. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. It's much appreciated. And if you are already subscribed with notifications on, then thank you so much. You really help out the channel. And on that note, I'll shut up and let you guys get back to it. And so she starts accusing me of like being deaf and an absolute moron, and then starts going on this weird unhinged rant about how like kids these days can't hear anything because of how much video games we play in our headphones, which is why the car didn't bug me, was because like I was a kid who plays video games, so therefore I'm not bugged by noises. When, if anything, you know, I'm not trying to come off too cringe here. The fact that I wear a headset in video games all the time makes me very good at noticing noises because I've got a sound whore to get my kill-death ratio up, alright? Lego gameplay in the background right now, but even I'm sound whoring in this. Where's the Jawa? Where's the mini kit? Don't play with me, dog. Don't play. Alright, that was a really cringe joke, but you guys get what I'm saying. She's just going off on this rant about how much young people suck, and apparently I was supposed to have just come out here and crapped on my other neighbor, who's also older than me, to help her, who is younger than Frank. Like, if I'm really out here to respect my elders, that is what I'm doing, because you're not the oldest person here, but whatever, you know, she's just obviously in this mood where everyone's against her now. But when she's going off on me, I'm just kind of like sitting there, and Frank starts laughing because now she's lost it. And obviously when somebody starts going off and you know it's ridiculous and kind of out there, it can be hard not to laugh sometimes. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like the MTV show Silent Library, where they do all these crazy things and they can't laugh and you're with your friends, but it was kind of like that. So he starts giggling, and as soon as he starts giggling, she just loses it even more. She smacks the car and is like, stop laughing at me. And we both are like, whoa, 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 chill. Don't hit the car. Don't hit the car. It is a Hellcat. It's like an $80,000 car. You know, he doesn't want this lady smacking the crap out of it. Not necessarily that it's going to hurt it. But when we tell her to stop, she hits it again, but this time a little bit harder. And like I said, obviously this Karen is not going to break the car. She's not going to like, you know, break an engine mount or anything by slapping it. But now she's slapping it hard enough that we're starting to hear that like metal noise. I don't know, like, you ever just bumped into a car and you hear that like gunk gunk, like the gunk gunk of the metal kind of flexing, and she's just repeatedly smacking it in the same place. So obviously he doesn't want his car rented, and even if it wasn't going to hurt the car, you just don't want people doing that to your stuff, let's be honest here. So he gets out of the car, and as soon as he gets out of the car, she's like, oh my god, you're gonna attack me, you're gonna attack me, oh my god, I knew you were violent, I knew you were violent. And Frank's just kind of standing there, and he's like, no, I just want you to please stop hitting my car. I'm not gonna do anything to you. Just go back to your house, go inside, just stop hitting my car. And we're like, yeah, I think you should probably just go inside. I say that. I tell her, I'm like, look, you guys are not going to solve this right now, obviously. You should probably just go inside. And she's, you know, trying to be like, I'm not going inside because you're telling me to go inside. I'm going inside because I want to go inside, and I'm going to call my husband, and he's going to come handle this, and da-da-da-da-da. And we're kind of like, okay, yeah, that's why you're going, just go inside. Like, please, like, come on. This is not doing anyone any good. And so she leaves, and I look at Frank. I'm like, look, I'll handle whatever's going on. You just go to work, bro. So whatever. Frank leaves. The lady comes back over, and she's like trying to be all nice to me now. And listen, I understand that you're probably realizing you just went a little crazy, but like, yeah, you were just screaming insults at me 30 seconds ago, so I don't really want to hear you be nice. And she's like, the car is ridiculously loud, though. And I'm just, you know, trying to not get this any crazier. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So about an hour later, I'm back inside doing my thing, and I get a knock on my door, and I look out the peephole, and it's this dude, and it's this Karen's husband. So I open the door, and he goes, hey, were you involved in the little argument that happened out there earlier? And I go, yeah, but I don't own the car. I was like, well, before you get mad at me, bro, like, I didn't do anything. It's like, yeah, no, I know. Will you just tell me what happened? So I tell him what happened. I'm like, look, the car's loud, blah, 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 blah. He was trying to leave. She's arguing with him, keeping him in front of the house. She started smacking his car. At that point, he got out. He never threatened her. He was never going to do anything to her. Legitimately, he was just trying to get her to stop hitting his car. And he's kind of sitting there, and you can just tell that this is giving him a headache. headache, bro. Like, he just does not want to be dealing with this. And I don't blame him, bro. Imagine you're just at work, you come home, your wife's like, yeah, I got into an argument with our new neighbors and said that you were gonna, like, come beat them up and take their car away. Do you want to go do it? You're like, no. So, whatever. He does something that I didn't expect, though. He looks at me and he goes, look, I'm really sorry, all right? I'm really sorry. I understand it looks crazy. I understand it looks wild, but, I apologize. And I'm like, look, dude, I get it. It's not your fault, but genuinely, Frank's not a bad guy. He's not trying to wake up your kid. He's not trying to do anything evil. So maybe just tell your wife to, like, relax a little bit, which I know is a lot to say. And I honestly thought he might punch me in the face when I say that. And he was like, yeah, no, I know you're right. Trust me. We've had issues with our neighbors before with her just getting a little bit ahead of herself and overzealous when it comes to trying to fix things that aren't really a problem. And I was like, hey, man, listen, I get it. I've dealt with some neighbors that are a little bit out there before. I understand. I'm just letting you know that, like, yeah, that was really annoying and wild and out of pocket. And he's like, yeah, okay, well, I am sorry again. And I was like, yeah, well, at least the guy came and apologized, I guess. How embarrassing to have to come, like, apologize for your wife. Anyways, after that, he left, and I was kind of, like, just going about my business. I obviously told my roommates about this because, it is pretty damn funny. I can't deny that. But overall, there really hasn't been much sense. I know it's basically a matter of time till more goes down just because these people tend to behave like that. But whatever. If anything happens, I will keep you guys updated. Anyways, though, I think that's going to do it for the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button and comment down below. Go ahead and comment the word C3PO down there if you enjoyed. Other than that, if you are in the mood for some G Fuel, be sure to use code Scrubby at the checkout for a discount. It helps me out. It helps you out. We can scratch each other's backs here. If you really want to support the channel, you can go ahead and cop some of the merch. A link to that is also down below. And if you want more content, I do have a podcast called The Scuffed Cast, link down there, along with a link to the intro song as well. Other than that, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. As I said, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant if you do, make sure they're hot. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.